Do you like games with many systems that get taken away from you if you die once and don't have the correct item to protect you from losing that? Explaining like this, you might ask, I'm seeing a shoot 'em up. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm Araknie and I'm talking about Alpha Mission 2. And be thankful I'm skipping directly to the second game, because the first one looks like this and plays like this. It's just a title that has so much going on, it needed a bit more object permanence. I'm skipping also talking about the story because there isn't one and this time it needed it. It's an arcade game that can last you easily 1 hour for one playthrough, and it's just not satisfying at all to go along like this. There's nothing to hang about for 1 hour. What's another game that can last you 1 hour? Oh yeah, Axelay! What a nice intro that game has, and something to give you context. None of that here, so get ready for not having a good finale for your efforts. So that's not a good start, but it's a gameplay that truly baffled me. Let's start with the minutia, because there's a big mistake they did that breaks the entire game design for me. It's the fact that there's an inordinate amount of power-ups, but you don't get to retain them ever. When you die, they should drop and give you a timer to collect them or lose them. That would be fair. You need to keep the G currency instead, and if you die, you lose that, and can't grab this one either. Also, you need to randomly find it, and soon. Because if you die when you have 0 amounts of G currency, you're gonna go back to the basic ship. But it spawns from killing enemies in a randomized way. Who the fuck knows if you'll get lucky and find it fast enough? Also, you might take more risks and die anyway because of searching for that item saving money. That's just terrible. I wanna just concentrate on the enemies in this genre. You can put other things and flair, but don't try to distract me in such a cheap way. The game is designed for you to constantly have power-ups past stage 2, so that's a big flow killer. It makes the bosses feel invincible and slow to die as hell. It's just incredible how they could fumble this. Or, and that's my theory, they made it like this on purpose because they wanted this to be a quarter muncher. And that's a pity because it has a very interesting system. You get to build your special power up because you get to use it with button 3. But that's also a random though. So how it works is that you go around and kill enemies. The strongest ones are guaranteed a drop that's a special power. The ones that die one hit and are blue give you extra power for your main guns. They're fun because they are many and come in many different flavors. They might give you a health bar, when this is a game where you die in one hit. You might get a weapon to use with button 2 that has fuel. Or even a timed weapon that you just use with button 1 normally, but expires after a while. I suggest you not to use them until you hear boss music, different from stage music, so you can save at least 2 or 3 of them just for the special occasion. But they override each other and don't stack in the background. So if you get the first power up and then get another, you don't save them, you get the new one, say goodbye to the other one. And you need 3 parts to have one special weapon? What the actual fuck? This is impossible to keep up with. And how are you supposed to know what enemies to kill and the ones to avoid? You can't, because even the same one can give you something different. And then all my hopes and dreams got crushed by a major design flaw. It's the fact that not every time you shoot, you hit most enemies. Some have different hit rates on different body parts, so it's all a complete mess. Shoot 3 times, see a hit response once. How fun for masochists. I don't get why some of my attacks don't register. I cannot abide by this. So if you play this game while being at the 30th anniversary of Slap My Ass Live, you might enjoy Alpha Mission 2. I don't. It's a pity because I think it has some of the most impressive animations and locations you can find for 1991. The giant bosses especially have some chunky animations that make them feel really heavy. It's what you want from gigantic enemy robots. It's full of color and life and movement in the backgrounds. The only problem was the blue bullets on the water parts of one level, but aside from that everything was coded correctly. They had the right priority for the majority of interactions. They knew very well what needed to be put before anything else on screen most of the times. Not something that even developers today manage, so at least I wanted to see what was next without dreading it. Musically instead, it's really strange. I think they put all their best work in the first half. After that it gets very space opera, but without the John Williams flair. So it's all moody and it never picks up the pace or the rhythm. That's so unfortunate, it's kind of incredible. 3 different composers worked on this and they didn't really understand each other too well. A soundtrack that is front-loaded on the first half and then completely different on the second half might work for a movie. But in video games you need good balance. You need highs and lows. You need high-octane action for a boss fight. Here it's 50-50 and perfectly distributed. That's just weird. So I'll conclude by saying that Alpha Mission 2 is a 4 out of 10. I just couldn't appreciate this one. It's not registering properly, it's a gaming scene I just can't overlook. If you wanna see me play the games that I will review plus some extra stuff, catch me on Twitch at Araknie Retro. It's my natural habitat, you see? Until next time, ciao ciao!